A 2 days before this video was shot, I attempted to ride one with my friend's bike, and I was so scared of just starting it because most videos I see of bikes is just of it throwing people off of it. And I own a scooter, but a scooter is very very easy compared to riding a bike, and a bike is much heavier than a scooter. So on this day, I just hung out with my friends and we decided, okay, just give it a go. And this was at night on a major way. So my friend was showing me the things to do. Uh, I had been shown previously the first day I got on the bike, but on this day he showed me again, and I was trying. And because I keep having a problem of releasing the clutch and accelerating at the same time as you do when moving with these bikes, even till now, that's still one little problem that I face. But now I think I'm much more comfortable on the bike, so it's not that hard anymore. And initially, my first few lessons on the bike, I was so concerned, like accelerate gently so it doesn't jump and stuff like that. But then I got to know that as long as the bike is on the first gear, it's the chances of that happening is very very little. And because my friends are clowns and choose to do all this extra stuff with the camera anyway, that's by the way. So this was me moving, and I was so happy that I could actually move with the bike on my own. And see, I didn't even put my legs on anything because I was so scared, and I was really scared to press the brakes because you have to use the brakes down where your foot is instead of the brakes by your hands, because that can throw you off. So we decided that if I was going to learn properly, it was important for me to go on a road that had less footfall and I could comfortably practice how to, make turns and drive and change gears and all that. So see, I almost hit that covered there because I was really scared of turning. I mean, even now, I'm still a bit concerned when I'm trying to turn. So we found this road not too far from our college that is kind of a new area, so there's not much traffic there. And I went there a couple of times, I think about 3 times, and this was my first time going there, which means this was the third time I was on the bike, and the second time from the ninth before that I had actually sat on the bike by myself and tried to ride it. And I was so happy, like you could see from my face, I was so happy that I could go and I could turn back. Like even till now, I still have problems of making U-turns on the bike. Like I can make a turn, like a left turn, a right turn, but if I have to make a U-turn, that's two left turns or two right turns, it's still a bit tough and the bike tends to go off. But sometimes I'm lucky it doesn't, and sometimes unfortunately it does. So if you're like an experienced biker and you can give me tips on how to improve that and I wouldn't be running into that problem often, I would really really appreciate that. But it's fun, and this is something I had as a goal for 2024, and I can't say that I have totally achieved this goal, but I think I'm proud of myself for actually sticking with it and finishing. And okay, I won't say finishing, sticking with it and actually able to achieve it. Like if I was stuck somewhere and someone gave me a bike, I know that I can confidently go away from there with it as long as I don't have to make U-turns. I mean, if I have to, I would struggle to do that because when I was learning how to drive years ago, I had problems with putting the gear in reverse. Now this is like for a stick manual, Prindle, whatever you want to call it, not like the automatic cars. So for the manual, then if I put it in reverse, it's used to the car will go off the way the bike goes off. And one day, and okay, and when that happens, we'll call on my sister or on someone from the house to come help us get the car out of that reverse, because we will have no choice but to reverse there. And unfortunately, one day there was no one to call, so we just had to do that ourselves. And that was the day I learned how to reverse. So yes, with this bike, I'm sure one day I'll have no choice but to make a U-turn, and I'll succeed at doing that. So for like 4 or 5 practices, we'll go to this road and we'll just try. And I started getting more comfortable on the road. I didn't care if other people were coming. And on this day, I was actually able to drive myself and my friend back home from this particular spot. Now from here to my place is like, let's say 10, 15, no, 10 minutes on the bike. And because I was scared, obviously, and being concerned, I didn't go too fast. I mean, even now I can't go too fast because almost every time I post like a little snapshot of me practicing, it's like, oh my god, be careful. And last year a friend of mine uh passed from an accident he had while he was on his power bike. So that's always like at the back of my mind, and I'm always, trying to be very careful when I'm on on the bike, and also when I'm driving my own scooter. So maybe one day I'll just show the difference between scooters and bikes. But they are similar, but for me I think the major difference is the weight, at least since I've started, and also my wrist, that's my left wrist, which I use for the clutch and all that, tends to hurt so much when I finish. Initially, the first few practices I had was like my waist, or like say my hip side. I was having pain, I think, from lifting my leg up that high or something. But then after that, I got comfortable with it, and on this day, which is this video you can see now, I actually rode the bike for about an hour, so 30 minutes going and 30 minutes coming back. I want to drop something for a friend, and my friend who owns this bike he just sat behind me, so he's the one that is holding the camera, and we just drove, or rather I just drove the bike all the way. And when we got there, I was so exhausted, and I asked him to please drive back. I was like, no, you should actually drive back, that you tried and all that. And I'm so happy that I have people who have faith in me and are confident that I will not throw them off the bike. Because if I knew someone was learning how to ride a bike, to be honest, I was just scared to sit behind. And he just sits behind, and it's nice. And while on the bike, it's easy for me to ask him, okay, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And I think one thing that was major for me that I'm happy that I have control of is that when we come to like a red light, I'm able to slow down. And initially, when I was learning, once I come to somewhere I have to slow down, I forget to like reduce the gears back to like maybe 3, 2, or 1 even, before taking them back up and moving. So the bike always goes off. But now, also that's called Patrica Gate. It's somewhere I've never even been there itself, but I always pass by at night, and when it's lit up, it's so gorgeous. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So now I'm very, very comfortable with slowing down at like traffic lights, and then putting the gears back to 1, so that once the light goes green I can immediately move. But still, when we're going and coming back, unfortunately at like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, I can't remember how many now, at some stops the bike will go off when I slow down and try to move again. But before I'll be scared, like, okay, because of the horns, the cars blaring their horns behind me. But now I'm much more comfortable, and I don't even care if the horns are just going bang 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 behind me. I just move on. And so uh basically what I'm just trying to say in short is I enjoy riding these bikes, and I hope to see like more bikes that I can practice on, because I want to be able to ride every type of bike I see. Like, I want to be able to comfortably say, "Can I try your bike and just ride the bike?" Because like when I was younger, and I already knew how to drive, so I used to drive my mom's car. And then if any of my sister's friends come to visit and they come with cars, like, "Oh, please, can we take your car for a spin?" And because they're nice people, they'll just give me their keys, and I'll just drive their cars. And so for that, with that way, I was able to learn how to just drive different cars and manage different scenarios. I remember one time a friend of my sister was driving a RAV4, and I don't remember what year of RAV4 it is right now, but the one that had the tire at the back visibly that you can see. So I drove the car, and there's this big park we used to go and turn. So that you don't have to do like you don't have to reverse. You can just make a 360 turn. And then while I was making this 360 turn, because of how fast I was driving, the two tires on the right side of the car, because in Nigeria we have a left hand drive, so the two tires on the right side of the car actually went up a little bit, and I was able to maneuver it, and it's dropped down again. I mean, I was scared actually, but I had no choice but to figure it out. So in that scenario, with that scenario, I knew that okay, if you're driving an SUV and you're on full speed, you should slow down a bit so you don't flip the car over. And that has been a valuable lesson for me, all my life. Because with salon cars, because they are, more balanced and stuff like that, that hardly happens. At least that has never happened to me before. And most of the jeeps you see, the vehicles you see, for like desert safaris and stuff are SUVs, and those are the ones that you can lift the tires up or down or whatever. So this is 2024, and this is still January. I don't know when this will get posted, but this is January that this video has been made and compiled. So in less than a month, I have been able to learn how to drive this bike comfortably. So if you've been scared of learning something new because you feel you'll be bad at it, or the time it will take for you to master it or learn it, just enjoy the process of learning new stuff. And most of the time, especially now, because of like the economies around the world, almost every single one of us is looking for something that we can learn that will bring us income. But I just want to say, if there's something you can learn that will also just make you happy, maybe it's something you've always wanted to learn, perhaps you should just give it a try and just enjoy, just that childlike feeling of learning new things and enjoying being able to do those little things that come together at the end of the day. So yeah, this is your cue to get up and just enjoy what you're learning for the sake of enjoying what you're learning and learning new stuff. Like I want to learn pottery. I haven't started learning that, but hopefully during this year, if I feel comfortable enough, I'll get a few classes and learn that as well, because learning is fun. Seriously, it's fun. And when you're learning stuff, mostly there's no expectations. No one expects you to be great at it by the first or the second class, so you can actually enjoy and revel in the process of making mistakes, making things, being creative, and just giving it your own personal twist and shot. So yeah, enjoy, and I hope that you are still watching this and I'm not just talking to myself. And do follow, subscribe. You can also link up with me on other social media sites at the same name. And yeah, drop your comments. And also, if you have any tips on how I can be a better rider, I would like to hear them. And if there's something you also want to learn, you can also drop that. Let's see, maybe something that would also pique interest in and can also learn. Yeah, and so just enjoy and have a brilliant new year. Thank you. Bye.